Megan? Megan! Megan, where are you?
Dad? Dad? Hug a tree.
Megan! Please, please. I want to report a lost child, and I want search and rescue. My 9-year-old daughter has gone missing. We were out hiking in the west side area, and she just wandered off.
They just never listen. Wish they would.
Looks like we have a search to look for a little girl.
Oh,
I'll probably be leading a team again. Can you fill up my water bottles while I get changed?
sure, I could do that.
Kids, can you start hauling my search pack out to the car?
Oh, Dad!
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, command my ETA to the search building is approximately 10 minutes. Copy that, 1-3, ETA, 1 quick order. Search 1-3, over. Command,
Yeah, this is Dave Robinson. I'm a SAR manager from Vernon Search and Rescue. Hi. Well, listen, we've started a search for a missing 9-year-old girl in the west side area. It has a high urgency rating, so we'd like to rapidly escalate our search efforts. Yes, we've already deployed our initial response team, but we need mutual aid from you. Well, I'd like to have some team leaders and trained searchers from your unit. Yeah, and if you could put some SAR managers on standby for the next operational period, that'd be terrific. Thanks, Harry, that's great. Listen, give me a call when you can and let me know what you can send us. I'll give you some more details then.
Hi, where do we sign in?
Right here, passenger door.
Thanks.
Hi, Dave. 5 more members from Kelowna SAR just arrived. Most of us are good to go. I heard you wanted to see me.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Listen, I've got a team assignment for you with a special twist.
What's this?
They're doing a documentary and have assigned the team to you.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, good, thanks. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
So, Tom, I need you to get all the Kelowna people signed in and then come back in here in about 15 minutes for your briefing. I'll be giving you a mixed team of searchers from the Kelowna SAR and Vernon SAR.
Roger.
Aren't you concerned about using your own team leader to lead members of another SAR unit?
Well, actually, no. All the ground search team leaders in BC, and we call them GSTLs for short, take a very tough course in order to qualify. They really have to know their stuff in order to get a ticket. It's not one of those courses where you just show up and get certified.
That's good to know.
Besides, we have a very high standard. Search operations can be very, very risky. We need people who are well organized, who can lead, plan, manage risks, and make critical decisions.
I should hope so.
So I can feel confident that any GSTL from any SAR unit in BC can lead searchers from my SAR unit or any other SAR unit. Besides, the assistant team leader will probably be from Kelowna.
Well, while the team leader's gone, Renee, why don't you get a pan of the interior?
Command, command. Team 6 radio check, over.
Command, we read you loud and clear. Over.
We're departing the assembly area, the search area now, over.
Command, roger. Over and out.
Okay, Tom, let's get started on your SMEAC briefing. Here's the team assignment sheet, prepared by my plans chief. And get your map and photo from planning. And Pete Watkins from Kelowna is going to be your assistant team leader. Situation. Our task number is 148-297. Police file number is 06-6574. Subject. We're looking for a lost 9-year-old girl named Megan Blake, and she went missing approximately 1,000 hours. Her physical description is as follows. Light brown hair, 4 foot 8 inches tall. So, Tom, I have answered all your questions. Let my SAR management team know if you need anything, and call in by radio before you leave.
Thanks.
And the documentary crew will follow along, but you can just ignore them, although I told them that you'll answer any questions they may have.
Sure. Do I get a makeover first?
What? On our budget?
Well, let's head out, shall we?
So what job did he give you?
I've been tasked to take a team of searchers from both Kelowna SAR and Vernon SAR and do 2 high POD sweeps of Area D.
Okay. Can you give me some idea of how you'll prepare for that?
I'll start with my initial preparation. I follow a standard format in organizing my planning. The very first thing is to select my assistant team leader. In this case, the SAR manager made the selection for me. Then I'll review the map and see how the terrain affects my tasks. You know, hazards, distance, etc. Then I'm going to do a rough estimate of how much time it'll take me to do each phase, including returning to the base. I can then compare this to the estimate of the overall time for the mission given me by the SAR manager. Next, I'll select a quiet spot, protected from the weather and any distractions, where I'll brief my team. Then I'll prepare a rough outline of how I plan for the team to perform the mission. Last of all, I'll prepare an ATL briefing to give to my assistant team leader. That lets him and the team start preparing while I'm doing my detailed planning. We call that concurrent activity. They don't have to delay their preparation until I give them the final briefing. They can start right away, as long as I let them know in advance what's coming.
Sounds like quite a job. Will it take long to organize?
No. I'm trained to take a task and break it down into bite-sized chunks we call phases. Most missions can be broken into 5 phases, and they're pretty self-explanatory. First, there's the planning and preparation necessary to get properly organized for the mission. This takes us up to the point where we leave the staging area. Next is the phase where we move from the staging area to our assigned search area. Phase 3 is where we actually conduct the search of our assigned search area in accordance with the plan I'll develop in concert with the directions provided by the SAR manager. Return to base means exactly what it says. The last phase is when I debrief the team. Then I report to the plans chief while the team rests, re-equips, and replenishes their water and food, etc. I do my time assessment on each separate phase. I work my way backwards from the time we need to complete the task by. All these phases added together give me my overall time estimate. One thing team members really want is an estimate of how long they're going to be in the bush.
Yes, that makes sense.
So, that's about it. That's how I give an initial and general idea of my plan before I brief the team in detail. It lets me do some initial organizing. Using standard procedure formats really helps. I've written them all on these plasticized file cards. I've put the formats on both sides, they go easily in my pocket, and they're waterproof. I can look at them anytime I need guidance on procedure or planning steps.
Do they give you these formats?
You can download them from the website for the Justice Institute of British Columbia. Can you give me about 10 minutes alone while I prepare my ATL briefing?
Sure, we'll go get our gear ready.
Is there a Pete Watkins here?
Yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Tom Billings. I'm your team leader. You've been assigned as my assistant team leader.
Oh, nice to meet you. I've done that before.
I'm glad to have you aboard, especially since we've got searchers from both Kelowna and Vernon.
Well, that's why I'm here. Do you have any info for me?
Let's head off to a quiet spot so I can give you your briefing.
Yeah.
Okay, Pete, let's do the ATL briefing. Yeah. Here's the team assignment sheet that the SAR manager gave me.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. General situation. We're looking for a 9-year-old girl named Megan Blake, who went missing at approximately 10 a.m. this morning. This is a high urgency search. We are Team 7. Mission. Team 7 will do a high POD search of Area D to an 80% POD no later than 1900 hours. I say again, Team 7 will do a high POD search of Area D to an 80% POD no later than 1900 hours. Personnel. We have 6 other searchers from both Kelowna SAR and Vernon SAR. They're listed on the team assignment form. Find out who the best first aid, navigation, and radio people are and let me know. I have level 2 first aid, but let's see if somebody else has more. Team briefing. We'll have the briefing right here in about 20 minutes. It's quiet and protected from the weather. Equipment needed. I only expect us to be gone for approximately 7 hours, but ensure that everyone is equipped to stay out for at least 24. Make sure that enough food, clothing, water, and equipment are distributed amongst the team so that we can take care of the subject if we find her. I want you to see the equipment manager and sign out 2 radios, 1 GPS, 20 spare AA batteries, an advanced first aid pack, and a spare headlamp. I already have a GPS-capable PDA. Special instructions. Do a pack check and ensure that everyone has enough food, clothing, and water. I also want you to arrange for soup and hot chocolate to be available upon our return. Finally, check with logistics. See if we can get vehicles to pick us up at 1800 hours and drive us back to the incident command post. Let's see if we can avoid having to walk back.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Roger.
And cut. That sounded pretty organized. So how did it go again?
Well, grab a seat and I'll tell you. I do the ATL briefing in a standard format as well, so that it comes out in the same sequence every time. First, I describe the general situation in 2 or 3 sentences. Then I state our mission in a concise and simple way. It usually covers who, what, when, and where, and the expected POD. I say it twice so that there's no confusion or misunderstanding. I then confirm our personnel and ask my assistant team leader to find and get me who has what qualifications. I then say where and when the team briefing will be. I try to pick a quiet and sheltered location to minimize distractions. I outline what team equipment I want my assistant team leader to get. Lastly, I issue special instructions for any other jobs I want him and the team to deal with before the briefing. Usually, it's for preparation and logistics details. This way, a lot of initial preparation and organizing can be done by him, while I do my detailed planning. It keeps us from wasting time. That's what I meant earlier by concurrent activity.
Ah, got it.
I'm now going to do my detailed planning and prepare my briefing.
Well, what does that involve?
Well, basically it's the same as the initial planning, only in much more detail. I'll now take a closer look at the map. I'll pay special attention to things like distances, hazards, the size of the search area, and using the information given to me by the SAR manager, I'll plan exactly how and where my team will move in each phase. Then, I'll review and revise my time estimate, depending on what the detailed planning comes up with. Next, I'll plan exactly what each team member will do in each phase.
Now, you'd make a good production manager.
Oh, really? Well, I'll then do what we call forward planning. That's when I plan for certain events that may or may not occur while we're out there. And there's much more as well. Fortunately, we have a standard format for that too.
Should have known.
We call it SMEAC. It's the acronym for Situation, Mission, Execution, Administration Logistics, and Command Communications. The format is a checklist to help me cover off possible details that I might need to plan for. More importantly, it acts as a guideline on how to present my plan, so that I can brief in an organized way that comes out simply and logically. Briefing on even a complex plan is more understandable. The SAR manager uses a similar format to brief me, so we all use the same system from top to bottom. Situation gives a general overview of the task numbers and timings, information on the lost subject, statistical data, navigation information, the weather, and finally other search efforts. Mission is a short, sharp, and concise statement of which team we are, what our task is, when we're to complete it by, where it'll take place, and the degree of search efficiency. Just like in the ATL briefing, I always say it twice so that there is no confusion. Execution has 3 separate components to it. First, I give a general overview of the mission by briefly describing each phase. Second, I tell each member what his specific roles are in each phase. Lastly, I give the coordinating details. I give all the details of exactly how I want things done. There's a list of the important items to consider in the SMEAC format. In administration logistics, I deal with critical issues like food, water, shelter, clothing, etc. Again, the SMEAC format gives a detailed list of things to consider. Lastly, in command communications, I outline the chain of command and pass on all important communications like frequencies and code words, etc. Again, more details are in the SMEAC format. Finally, I finish up with synchronizing watches and deal with questions from the team. If I have time, I will ask the team questions to confirm their understanding of the information. Now I have to go and do my detailed planning and prepare my briefing. It'll be pretty boring to film, so perhaps you'd like to grab a coffee while you wait.
Sounds good. Perhaps we'll check out the team.
Good. You can look in on what Pete's doing.
So there's no problem with hot chocolate and soup at 1900 hours?
Sure, and I'll have fresh oranges for everyone as well. Sorry about the transport, but the washout on the road has made it impassable for vehicles.
Yeah, I understand, but thanks for your help on everything else. Yeah.
So, Pete, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. I bet I've been a busy little ATL.
ATL?
Yeah, ATL short for Assistant Team Leader. My job's to assist with administration and preparing and organizing the team.
Such as?
Well, I pull all the team members together, make sure that they've signed in and listed all their individual qualifications. Oh, I laid down hot food for when we return. Now I'm about to give the personnel information to my team leader. Unfortunately, the road's washed out, so we're probably going to have to hoof it back.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I still have to draw some equipment and go check everyone's packs. Do you want to come? Sure we can find something exciting for you to do.
No, thanks. I've got to check in with the SAR manager.
But you're going to miss out on my command performance.
Trust me. Don't give up your day job.
So, how goes it with Tom?
He's pretty organized. Really seems to know what he's doing.
Well, he's been around. Mind you, all the new GSTLs are like that. Sure makes my job a lot easier.
But I'm surprised he needs to take the time to prepare. Why don't they just go out after you've briefed him?
Yeah, well, that's how we used to do it. But searching is hazardous, and we've come a long way in 20 years. It's a lot more sophisticated than just lining them up shoulder to shoulder. There's a lot of things that a GSTL has to do in advance for a team to be safe and effective.
I'm beginning to see that.
Now, if this was a rescue, we'd use a much shorter and less complete process called critical briefing.
Oh, yes.
But in a standard search, we want all our team members to be fully briefed and prepared before they head out. It's a thinking game, and safety is our #1 priority.
So, what did it used to be like?
Well, we learned the hard way. In the old days, we'd send the teams out without much time to prepare. They'd call in for equipment they hadn't thought of, or found themselves in situations they were not prepared for. But now it's a lot better. We now know that the teams are fully prepared and have everything they need before they head out. The team leaders will have even prepared for situations they hadn't thought of. For example, what if they get stranded out there? Experience has taught us that spending a little time now saves a lot of time later. These new methods may take a little longer, but they're much safer, more professional, and much more efficient in the long run.
Excuse me, I need this team assignment approved.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Interesting. It seems like the Army.
Not bad for unpaid professionals. Every one of them is a professional volunteer. They sacrifice a lot of time, effort, and money in order to do this.
Does that mean we have to make a donation?
You just concentrate on showing what a good job the team leaders do. I'm only a planner, and I can create a search action plan, but it's the GSTLs that make it happen. Care for a coffee?
Thanks, but I'm coffeeed out. I need to get back to the crew.
Okay, see you later.
And water bottles? Betcha. Got him. Here, you guys, pack her up. Okay. Perfect. Did you get everything you were looking for? Okay.
Command, Team 7, radio check, over.
Command, we read you loud and clear, over.
Team 7, loud and clear, out.
Hi, everyone. Listen up. My name is Tom Billings, and I'm your team leader. You've already met Pete, your assistant team leader. Get your pens and papers and sit back so that I can give you your briefing.
I've checked everyone's packs. Everyone seems good to go. I've divided food, clothing, and shelter for the subject amongst the team members. You get to carry the tarp and the spare radio.
Thank you. You're doing a great job. Sit over on the right side, would you?
Roger.
Okay, everyone, listen up. As you know, we have a search for a missing girl. This is a high urgency search, so we have to be extra alert on this one. Small kids are hard to spot. Situation. Our task number is 148297, and the police file is 066574. The girl went missing at approximately 1000 hours, and this is her point last seen. Lost subject information. Her name is Megan Blake, and she is 9 years old. She has light brown hair. Mission. Team 7 will do a high POD search of Area D to an 80% POD no later than 1900 hours. I say again. Team 7 will do a high POD search of Area D to an 80% POD no later than 1900 hours. Execution. General overview. This mission will be conducted in 5 phases. In Phase 1, we will complete our preparation. In Phase 2, we will move by foot to Area D. In Phase 3, we will conduct 2 high POD sweeps through Area D. I'll have more specific instructions in the coordinating instructions. In Phase 4, we will return by foot to the incident command post. Phase 5, we'll take a washroom break, meet here for a debrief, and then I'll report to the SAR management team. Individual tasks. Phase 1. Chad, I want you to radio check both radios. Michelle, I want you and Pete to check each other's declination settings on your compasses. Astrid, I want you to double check the contents of the first aid pack. Make sure everything's there that we could possibly need. Administration and logistics. Everyone is to have enough food and water for at least 24 hours. I understand that Pete has a water filter. Shelter. Each of you must have a shelter with your pack. Equipment and clothing. It's supposed to rain later, so keep your wet weather gear near the top of your pack or in an external pouch. Command and communications. Command. I am your team leader, and Pete is your intrepid assistant team leader. The incident command post is over there. Communications. Our frequency is Ops 1. Call signs. We are Team 7, and the ICP camp is command. Code words. Megan is told not to answer to strangers unless they give the code word Clancy, which is the name of her cat. Okay, I've answered all your questions and we've synchronized watches. We move out in 15 minutes, so finalize your gear and meet over on the other side of the command vehicle, ready to move out. Let's make it happen, people.
Yeah, got it.
Anyone need to use the latrine before we head out? Okay, team, let's saddle up and go for a walk in the park. As per my briefing, Michelle, you're the lead for navigation, and Pete will bring up the rear. Chad, I want you to dial up command. Let them know that we're departing the staging area. Get in your spots and let's rock and roll.
Command, Team 7, over.
Command, over.
We're now leaving the assembly area and heading for Area D, over.
Command, roger, over.
Team 7, out.
How come you stopped already? You hardly got started.
Well, after years of experience, I can tell you, you can do everything you can to get ready in the beginning. But 5 minutes after you've started is when you'll notice a loose strap, or a bootlace has come undone, or you're heating up faster than you expected.
Yeah. Like us forgetting one of our lenses.
There you go. Once we get this done, we should be good to go for hours. It happens every time to at least one team member, usually more. It's just one of the many things you can do to take care of your people. Another point is to only ever move as fast as your slowest team member. That way, we move together as a team. Okay, it looks like we're ready to go again. Okay, people, let's head out. Pete, make sure nothing's left behind.
Roger.
Okay, Astrid, we've determined the spacing at 25 meters. You're the right flanker, so remember to flag every 20 meters or so. And you need to watch out for that lagoon, 200 meters ahead of you.
Roger.
Okay, this is where the rubber hits the road. We've started our sweep, and I'm just setting the team members up into their individual start positions on the baseline.
But not everyone's in place yet. Is she supposed to head off like that already?
Oh yeah. It's called a staggered start, also a cascade start. There's no reason for her to wait. We actually save time if each searcher heads off once I place them at their start point. It's not like the old days when we all had to stay in a line. Sometimes the searchers are so far apart, they can't even see each other. Okay, Chad. I make this out to be your start point. Do you agree?
Yes, I do, almighty team leader.
There's a comedian in every group. Okay, Chad. Take your bearing and head out. You need to watch out for that lagoon as well.
Yes, boss.
Okay, let's go set the next one.
Actually, if it's okay with you, we'd like to follow Astrid.
Okay, but watch out for bears. Bears? I'm serious.
No problem. I can run faster than Rennie. Come on, Rennie, let's catch up to Astrid.
They'll initially sweep from south to north, then they'll move around to the side and then go west to east.
My name's Astrid, and I'm with Search and Rescue, and we're going to take you back home.
Where's my dad?
He told me to tell you that Clancy sent me. Who's Clancy?
Oh, Clancy. He's my cat.
Your cat? Well, I bet she's going to be really happy to see you again. Are you hurt anywhere?
No, but I'm very cold.
Well, I've got just the thing for you. This is my very good friend, Little Bear. He could really use a good hug.
I hugged a tree, just like I was taught, but Little Bear's much softer.
And how are you doing?
Chad, dial up command and tell them that we found the subject and that she appears mildly hypothermic but otherwise okay. Tell them our grid is... Ready?
Go ahead.
183-687. And that will begin carrying her out after we've warmed her up. Let them know that we'll send an update once Astrid completes her first aid assessment.
Roger.
Ian.
Yes, sir.
Let's build a small fire so that we can warm Megan up.
Okay, I'll get right on her.
Pete?
Yes.
Maintain complete notes on everything that's happening.
Good thing, boss.
Michelle, take the others and build a solid, improvised stretcher. She's pretty light, so let's build it for 4 carriers.
Roger, boss.
You know, for a busy guy, you look pretty relaxed, with your hands in your pockets and all.
I'm just following an old maxim, literally. Keep your hands in your pockets. This is the most dangerous part of any mission. Everyone's excited. The blood is up, the adrenaline is flowing. It's easy to stop thinking and screw up.
But isn't this over? How can you screw this up now?
It's at this point that most mistakes happen. Team leading is a thinking game. A rookie team leader's most common mistake is to get too involved in the details and start doing specific tasks themselves that the team members should be doing. They stop delegating and try to do it all themselves. They begin to lose sight of the big picture, stop forward planning, and start to miss things.
That makes sense.
At this point, the best advice for a team leader really is to keep your hands in your pockets. It keeps you from trying to do things yourself. You can maintain the big picture and anticipate the next step.
You know, I hadn't thought of it that way. That's what movie directors do.
Yep. And here, everyone thinks that because I've got my hands in my pockets that I'm calm and relaxed, even if it's not true. That's another trade secret.
Command, Roger, no transport. We'll dispatch some extra personnel to keep you on the way to help carry her out.
Way to go! How do you feel?
It feels great. Most searches end up like this. It's the end product of some hard work by a lot of volunteer, unpaid professionals.
Yeah. So you let your ATL lead the way back?
Well, he thinks he is. But the truth is, sometimes the best place to keep an eye on things is from the rear. Leading doesn't always have to be from the front. Just between me and you, Pete lost his toilet paper and he won't ask anyone else. He's real anxious to get back. Wants to avoid an intimate experience with some leaves.
Did you make it back to base in time?
Yeah, I was highly motivated to avoid being called Leaf Boy for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'd have thought you guys would be long gone by now.
No, we have to do the debrief still. Even after successful missions, we have to review to see what we can do better for next time. Tom will go through the same 5 phases as he briefed us with, and then he'll report back to the plans chief, and we'll clean up and then hand in our gear.
But the main thing is, her personal safety wasn't compromised either. She kept her head and didn't bolt straight for her without paying attention to what's around her. And she was holed up beside a tree, and it was right by this little pond right here.
Right there then?
Yeah. Okay, guys, still having fun?
Oh yeah.
Apparently the girl's going to be fine.
Right on.
So I just wanted to let you guys know that you all did great.
I think you're one of the last ones out.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Part of my job is to look after my team members, so I don't leave until they've left. I'm their mother and father, all rolled into one.
Any final words?
Yeah, they're a great bunch of people, and I liked working with them. It really doesn't matter which SAR unit they're from. And Pete will make a great GSTL one day.
Well, I think you did a great job too.
Well, it's all a matter of planning, organization, experience. Those formats and techniques from the GSTL course really are great tools to keep us team leaders on track.
It's just like a movie shoot.
Exactly.
Can I buy you a beer?
Thanks, but I'm very tired. And my wife and kids are always worried about me. Besides, my kids are probably dying to hear about that little girl. Perhaps another time?
Sure.
Good job, man.
You too. Let's talk about a future ground search team leader named Leaf Boy.
How'd you know about that?
Lad, team leaders are all-seeing and all-knowing.
Well, guys, guess that's a wrap.
Quick, Randy, before he changes his mind.
Oh, man. That's another one.
Quiet on the set.
Sounds like quite a job. Will it take long to organize?
No. I'm trained to take a task and break it down into bite-sized chunks we call phases.
Is somebody making faces at you over here?
We call them GSTLs for short. Take a very tough course in order to get their ticket. This is just...
I'm going to cut.
Cut!
I can't see all the people behind. You were all behind Chad, so all I could see was 3 people.
Yes, I know I'm big!
Action! I've really messed that up. I'm sorry, I've messed that up. Cut, let's do it again. Oh.
It's news to force. No, don't tell us.
Got it.
Check your feelings.
Let's go.
We were saying that last time.
Quiet.
Is this just for sound?
Yeah, just for sound.
Just your dialogue.
And this will continue on to after the end of the dialogue, it's strictly.
Okay.
Stand by, cameraman.
Oh, I'm not running.
He needs to turn it on. He needs to turn it on.
Checking for bears.
When you're quite ready.
Careful, rock right on the race.
Settle, please.